welcome back to Wine and Chill, your home for all things legal shenanigans and millennial adulting. If you're new here, I'm Stephanie, your friendly neighborhood lawyer. Well, not your lawyer, which brings me quickly to our disclaimer. By watching this video, you acknowledge that this video is solely for entertainment purposes only, and you acknowledge and consent that you have read the full disclaimer below in the description box. We have come a long way from when I used to read the full disclaimer. Which brings me to good news. Today, we are kicking off our new series. Yes, we will still have the full format, Entertainment Law Shenanigans, where I go through entire lawsuits, usually entertainment lawsuits. But we are branching out to do, let's call it Wine and Lawsuits Wednesdays. Let me know in the comments. As long as it has Wednesdays in the description, I'm fine with it. So basically, we are gonna do a run through of 3 to 4 lawsuits, super short, quick summaries, and then at the end of the video, you can vote on which lawsuit you want to see a full rundown of. I think this will be really fun, and also for those of you that want shorter videos, these are for you. And then for those of you that still want the long videos, you'll still get that because we're still gonna do full lawsuit run-throughs. Cool, so today, we are gonna cover a mix of entertainment law and straight up buffoonery. Yeah, I think that's how we should best describe the other lawsuit. When I mention it, you'll see why. So the 3 lawsuits we're covering today are Tracy Chapman versus Nicki Minaj, Dominion Voting Systems, let me make sure I say that right. Yep, Dominion Voting Systems versus Sidney Powell, AKA Trump's lawyer. Yeah, that's a doozy. And then Lil Wayne versus his manager. You know, it's all the rage. All the managers are coming back to collect their coins, and you know, I'm here for it. I'm here for all of it. So let's start off with Tracy Chapman versus Nicki Minaj. So as you may have heard last week, Nicki Minaj settled her lawsuit with Tracy Chapman, which has been going on for about 2 years, 2.5 years, where they settled, and she is going to pay Tracy Chapman $450,000 for using Tracy Chapman's original song, Baby Can I Hold You, in Nicki Minaj's song, Sorry. So originally what happened, so the backstory of that was Nicki Minaj sampled the song, used the song, then reached out, according to Tracy Chapman, for permission to use the song. Tracy Chapman is an independent artist and does not allow people to do samples of her music. Tracy Chapman is a wonderful singer-songwriter, great musician, decades now. The original song was written in 1988. Tracy Chapman wrote it. So Tracy Chapman told Nicki Minaj's management no. The song was then leaked by Funkmaster Flex on his website, but they leaked the song. Tracy Chapman then sued. Nicki Minaj originally had a ruling in her favor last year. However, her attorney decided to settle this year as a full lawsuit, and taking it to trial would have been extremely expensive and probably, you know, cost-benefit analysis just not worth it. What I think is really interesting, to back up a second, when I went to look up, okay, like what song is being disputed, I listened to Nicki Minaj's version, and so it's the entire chorus that she's using, and I was like, this sounds familiar, and I was like, oh, it probably is Tracy Chapman version I'm familiar with. Listen to Tracy Chapman's version, I'm like, this is not the one I'm familiar with, and so I'm sitting there like, I know this song, and you know I know the song from? Back in the day, all of the like big Black American songs of like the 80s, 90s, some of the 2000 songs, Jamaicans did covers of all of them, and they paid for them. Foxy Brown has the reggae cover of Tracy Chapman's song, which Tracy Chapman is listed as the writer, and she did pay a fee for it. The reggae version is what most Caribbean people, myself included, are familiar with, which was super interesting. I was like, oh, this is the song. Complete guess, in my opinion, of maybe what happened. Maybe Nicki Minaj, she is Trinidadian, being Caribbean herself, is probably might be familiar with the Caribbean version of the song, and likely wanted to do a remake of that, not knowing the song actually belongs to Tracy Chapman. Whatever have you, here we are today. I think would be interesting if we decide to vote on this case. What we would talk about is the idea of fair use. So Nicki Minaj cited that it was fair use for her to use the song. Under copyright law, you are allowed to use certain copyrighted materials under fair use. So specifically, fair use will allow you the limited use of copyrighted materials, specifically without permission from the copyright owner, for purposes such as criticism, parody, news reporting, research, and scholarship and teaching. So it has a limited use. Since a judge did rule in Nicki Minaj's favor prior to this, it would have been interesting to see it go all the way to court to see who would have won. If you listen to the 2 songs, yes, it is an exact copy of the chorus of Tracy Chapman's song, with Nicki Minaj re-recording her voice over it. And the melody is different. So the melody is different, but the words of the song are the same. And the beat, you can kind of hear it. You can kind of hear the beat similarly, so you know it has a similar flavor to it, but the voice recording is completely different. So that's very interesting, and something I learned new today, you know. That is option 1. So if you want to vote to do a deep dive into that, that will be option 1. So on to option 2. Before we get into option 2, because ciao, a sip, if you may. So option 2 is going to be Dominion Voting Systems versus Sidney Powell, aka Trump's lawyer. Before you decide, is that really Trump's lawyer? We are going to get into that in 2 seconds, because that is something debated in this case. So, speaking of the case, this complaint is 126 pages. And if for some reason you have copious amounts of free time and are very curious into the foolery, buffoonery, and all-out nonsense that the fake news media has spewed out over the course of the past election cycle, I highly implore you to read it. It links every single tweet by, hopefully in a few days, our former president. It links statements from various news sources, including Fox News, misstatements. It links everything, and I love receipts, and it is full of them. Thorough. Compared to the Facebook case, this is equally as thorough, if not more thorough. So, with that being said, Dominion Voting Systems is suing Sidney Powell for defamation, which we've covered defamation before, so you guys are familiar with what defamation entails, specifically to the tune of $1.2 billion. And they are suing her for this amount of money because Ms. Powell decided to state numerous times on numerous platforms that the election was rigged, that the voting system used was a Venezuelan company, and numerous other false allegations as stated by Dominion Systems. The company was actually founded in Canada and then moved to the United States over a decade ago. So with that being said, if you vote for this, we are going to get into the receipts on the receipts on the receipts, and there's nothing that I personally love more than to see the foolery laid out of the current administration, especially on its way out. So specifically with Dominion Voting Systems, one thing that I think is very interesting to point out that a lot of people are likely going to say, because at one point Sidney Powell was listed as one of Trump's lawyers. Then, you know, as he does, because he loves to fire people, a few weeks later, he tried to pull a Mariah Carey and be like, I don't know her. And, you know, tweets of his tend to age bad. So we'll read this tweet that Dominion Voting Systems included in their complaint, which states, in part, I look forward to Mayor Giuliani spearheading the legal effort to defend our right to free and fair elections. Rudy Giuliani, Joseph D. Genova, Victoria Tausing, Sidney Powell, and Jenna Ellis, a truly great team added to our other wonderful lawyers and representatives. So yes, indeed, she was formerly one of his lawyers. Maybe she still is, who knows? But she is going to be the sacrificial lamb in what is likely to be a long list of lawsuits by Dominion Voting Systems, as it has been proven numerous times. Georgia recounted their votes 3 times. There was no election tampering. The election has been fair, as we have been saying to, you know, people that are very dense for months. So yeah, this will be a very, very interesting case to do if you decide to vote for number 2. So along with Sidney Powell, her law firm, which she is the sole attorney at her law firm, is being sued, as well as the alleged 501c3 she set up that many people donated to, which apparently, allegedly, according to the complaint, is not actually a 501c3, which a 501c3 is a tax-exempt entity in the United States. Very interesting. I wonder how much money she received. And I wonder where it went. Ciao. But if you too wondered, then vote for number 2. I feel like we're on a game show. This is fun. Also, hopefully you can't hear it and I'll edit it out. They have decided to vacuum outside of my door. The perks of me moving to a nicer building. The downside of me moving to a nicer building. All right, and the last case, so number 3, if you want to vote for number 3, is going to be Lil Wayne versus his manager. Specifically, what's the man's name? Ronald Sweeney is Lil Wayne's former manager, and Avant-Garde Management are suing him for more than $20 million. Damn. Mr. Carter has a lot of legal issues. A lot of legal issues these days. So basically they are suing him for unpaid commissions. So we have covered the Chance the Rapper lawsuit between him and Pat the manager. So similar to that, they are claiming that they agreed to 10% of the master recordings, 10% of recovery from former lawsuits. So remember when Lil Wayne was trying to sue and did sue Baby in those lawsuits, trying to get his master recordings from Baby, and he eventually won. So 10% of recovery from lawsuits, and then 17% commissions from overall management. Sweeney is claiming that he didn't receive that. So that is going to play out similarly. So if you want to learn more about that, then you can vote for number 3. And then yeah, so I figured we would throw a fun one in there, and the fun one being our little fun one that is going to just throw in there. This is not up for voting, but you know, I thought it would make you giggle because it made me giggle. Hawaiian Roll, they're being sued, actually a class action lawsuit. So if you two feel that you have been misled, lied to, you too can probably join in on that. Just kidding, don't listen to me. Stephanie sent me here from YouTube. No, don't do that. But yes, so Hawaiian Rolls actually has a class action lawsuit against them in the state of New York because people are alleging that their rolls are actually made in California and not in Hawaii, and that it is misleading. I mean, it's not funny, but I too feel a little misled. Am I still gonna eat it? Yes. Should I be eating it right now in my diet? No. So I'm not gonna buy it right now, but interesting. So there is your random lawsuit of the week. So vote for 1, 2, or 3. So we have Tracy Chapman versus Nicki Minaj. If you vote for that, we're going to discuss fair use. And then we have Dominion Voting Systems versus Sidney Powell. Child, $1.2 billion they are suing her for. Billion with a B. I wonder if Trump is going to help her. Doubt it. Which he himself might also get sued for constantly saying that the election was rigged, because he's basically saying that their product doesn't work, and there's no proof to that. You just can't say people's product doesn't work and there's no proof to it. Hundreds of millions of dollars are at stake for their company, so of course they're suing. And I think they're also going to sue a lot of the news media, so we love to see it. We need to get back to an agreed set of facts. That's what we need to do. So I'm all for it. And the third one will be Lil Wayne versus his manager. So that will be similar to Pat the manager versus Chance the Rapper. So don't vote for that one, but if you're curious, like, maybe we can tie it in a little bit. Okay, yeah. So hope you guys enjoyed our first little wine and lawsuits Wednesdays. That's like very mouthy, very wordy. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you have a better suggestion. You know, I'm open to all suggestions. As long as it has Wednesdays in it, it's fine. So these will be every Wednesday, so that way we can get on a regular cadence. And yeah, I'm excited. So let me know what you think. And as always, if you haven't already, please go ahead and like and subscribe and follow me on Instagram for some more fun updates.